This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the ball, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judging blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of A's Cast Live from the Ballpark in West Sacramento. As the Toronto Blue Jays have come to town, it's going to be a fun weekend, and the Blue Jays are absolutely red hot. They're in first place in the American League East, while the Athletics are coming off taking 2 out of 3 from the Atlanta Braves. We're going to have the Mark Kotsay show for you coming up here in just a little bit. Michael Kelly, reliever for the Athletics, who, such an interesting story. If you remember back, he was suspended for the gambling. It was such a small thing, but in baseball eyes, it doesn't work that way. We had him in Oakland at the Treehouse. He was throwing the ball so great, and then wham, he was suspended, and now he is back. He will join us today to talk about that. And boy, do the A's really need him. Like out of nowhere, it was like getting a trade of getting a reliever and somebody who can come in, get outs, give you innings out of the bullpen. He was like a godsend for the Athletics. We will talk to him also in this show. And the voice of the Athletics, Ken Korach, is going to be here at 5:15.
Good update there at Towny.
What is that, Ken? You're here early?
Good update there at Towny.
Thank you very much, Ken Korach. How are you, Cody?
I'm good. Michael Kelly, real quick, only 1 earned run all season, so it's great to see him back and pitching well for a bullpen that's been really good in the month of July for the Athletics. An ERA just over 3 at 3.09. So that's good to see. I'm glad we got to catch up with Michael, but I'm good. I mean, this is a good series against the Blue Jays. They come to town once a year. You get to see Vladdy after signing the $500 million extension. I believe tonight's his 1,000th game, if I'm not mistaken. So it'd be cool to see him and
his next hit.
Oh, next hit is 1,000.
1,000.
Oh, then it was 1,000 something.
All right, so the Toronto Blue Jays. It's like funny because when the Athletics went to the Rogers Center, you were thinking like, okay, where do these guys go from here? Is it going to be time? Even though they had signed Vladimir Guerrero Jr., is it time? Is Bichette, Springer, our guy Chris Bassett? Are you going to start Gosman? Are you going to start selling guys off? Because what are you going to do? I mean, this team is every single time they get in the playoffs, they get swept. They haven't done anything. And then all of a sudden they crushed the A's, swept them 4 straight. And this is when the things really started going bad, where the A's lost 20-21. They outscored the A's 39-18, 11 dingers, 12 doubles. And since then, wham, the Blue Jays took off. Blue Jays had just won 10 straight. They've now won 12 of their last 14. And when they won 10 straight, that's 17 home runs, 66 runs, vaulted into first place. No matter what these Yankee hacks, and I'm looking at one right here, Michael K. and the rest of you Yankee hacks, they're not really a first-place team. Well, if I look at the standings, who's in first place?
That'll be the Blue Jays. Are they going to argue, well, their expected win-loss? Expected.
Oh, I can only go on what your win-loss record is.
Really is, not their expected.
And their win-loss record says they're in first place in the American League East. Now, if they win one game or the Yankees lose a game this weekend, so Blue Jays win one game against the Athletics or the Yankees lose a game against, who are they playing, the Cubs?
Cubs, yeah.
The Toronto Blue Jays will have a share of first place at the All-Star break, which means absolutely nothing. But it'll be their first time they've done that since 1993.
Oh, good year for them.
Where was everybody around here in 1993?
I was 4. Going to be 5 later in the year. That was a good year for them, though. Last time they won a World Series.
I was playing baseball at San Jose State in 1993. That's how long ago it was. I've got kids in college. That's how long ago it's been since the Toronto Blue Jays, since they won the World Series back-to-back years in 92 and 93, that they were in first place at the All-Star break.
It's pretty incredible. And you know who's been a big catalyst for them?
George Springer.
Old man Springer at 35, hitting 280, 16 home runs. I mean, old man Springer's been doing great for the Blue Jays after a couple of really down years after signing that big deal.
I am not going to let this go, and I'm not going to sweep it under the rug. This is a big start for Luis Severino.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
This is a big start for him because you know what? Other people are throwing the ball well here. Point blank. You want to complain? Well, sorry. We've seen guys. I mean, Logan Webb just came in here and had no problem. Said he liked pitching here. He's a true ace. No problem whatsoever. Jacob Lopez throwing the ball well here. J.P. Sears has thrown the ball here well as of late. You got no excuses. And the last couple of starts have been on the road for Luis Severino. His last 4 starts, losses. He's got a 9.50 ERA. The opponent's hitting .321 and 6 home runs. That's pitching at Detroit, which is a total pitcher's ballpark. That's at Yankee Stadium where you know the ballpark, you know the mound.
Yep.
So at some point it's like, hey, man, you're a professional athlete. You get paid to succeed.
0-8 at home with a 7.04 ERA.
Yeah, we can go on and on. The A's have lost 10 of his last 11 starts. But you know what? As I said last night on A's Talk, I'll say it again. I don't want to trade him. Keep him here. Figure it out. You spent the money. You invested in him. And I know there's some teams that have called about Luis Severino, but he's not like anybody's number one option. They're doing they're kicking the tires, doing their due diligence, as they like to say at this time of the year. And I do not want to trade him and pay somebody else to have him pitch. I want him. You know what? The A's need him. The A's need his veteran leadership. They need him to be a veteran leader, and they need him to go out and man up and start getting some outs. That's what they need. It's point blank. You get paid big money to succeed in this game. And we've seen other guys have success at this ballpark. So however you feel about it, you haven't been that great on the road either lately. You started out hell on wheels on the road. But, for the next couple of years, I'd rather have a healthy, productive Luis Severino. And if it's in the second half, he gives you innings. I know the record's never going to be good this year, but whatever. This year, I'm not grinding on the wins and losses. Need to see everybody get better. We're seeing the young players get better. These numbers on Nick Kurtz are absolutely amazing, right? I mean, what he's done in the last month. He's got 10 home runs since the start of play on June 15th. That's tied with?
Aaron Judge?
No, close.
Usually Aaron Judge is thrown into all those numbers.
Cal Raleigh. That's not that hard, is it?
The big dumper.
Raleigh. Cal Raleigh is having he's having an MVP-like year, no question. That's how good Nick Kurtz have been. Nick Kurtz, whether you want to go to analytics, you want to go traditional numbers, Nick Kurtz has been absolutely off the charts. These young guys, Tyler Soderstrom in the month of July is hitting .370 with 5 extra base hits, 6 RBIs. I know he said with us after on NBC that you heard on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network that it was his first walk-off. He had the walk-off walk. I think he forgot about that.
Yeah, walk-off walk last year at the Coliseum against the Rockies.
So it's technically his second walk-off. But, yeah, the young guys, Lawrence Butler Day yesterday, happy birthday to Law and his bobblehead. I mean, the young guys, they're starting to get exciting. They're playing their first full years. This is a group that I think we're all going to be very bullish on, and we know what we need right now. We need Luis Severino to go out there and give quality inning. Not going to worry about the record. Go out there and give me strong performances. Get into the All-Star break, refresh, clear your mind, come out, have a really good second half, and then I want to see him here next year. I do not want to see Luis Severino traded, and then all of a sudden you're paying him part of his salary to play somewhere else. Why would you want that? How do you replace him?
You don't right now with what you have. I mean, he even said after his last start here at the ballpark at West Sacramento that he needs to pitch better. So I'm glad to see that opposed to seeing the bitching and moaning about the mound and the field and the clubhouse and all that. to hear him actually say I need to pitch better at home and acknowledge that he needs to get better, that's great. And hopefully tonight against a first-place team, it seems like every time he pitches at home, though, it's a team that's red hot or a team in first place that he's pitching against. But that's
know why?
It's the big leagues.
It's the big leagues. Welcome to the big leagues. Sister of the poor doesn't play in this league. You always got to play against somebody who's pretty good. But, so it's a big thing tonight. Luis Severino, he's got to have a good outing. You need to have a good outing heading into the break so he can have, clear his head. And if he doesn't, still the same thing. You got to figure it out during the All-Star break, and you got to make sure you come in here with a positive attitude. Because, these young guys, tell you what, they do. They have a positive attitude. These young guys are coming in every day with big smiles on their faces, ready to rock and ready to play and ready to compete against the very best.
Yeah, and Severino should be that guy. He's pitched in New York, but both teams in New York, so he knows what it's like, and he needs to be the leader for these guys because you're seeing better starts from J.P. Sears, Jacob Lopez. I know Mitch Spence is now down. We'll see what happens with his spot. Jeffrey Springs has been awesome since the beginning of June, even middle of May. He's been awesome for the A's. So hopefully you get Severino right with the bullpen pitching well in the month of July, and maybe it'll be a nice little second half like we saw last year with the team.
There's a lot of baseball to be played, and when you have a first half that you're not thrilled about, reality is you got to stop worrying. And this is so easy to say, hard to do, but you got to put the numbers of the first half out of your mind. And you got to take on the challenge of getting better in the second half. That's what you have to do. And I know, as hitters say, I don't want to look up at the board. It's tough not to see the board. There's numbers everywhere. When you're a pitcher, your record, your ERA, it's everywhere. Well, you know what? You got yourself into that hole. You need to dig yourself out of that hole. That's what professionals do. And you have to put this season into two halves. And you now, as Luis Severino, the team, anybody who struggled, you now got to go out and battle and win the second half and carry that momentum into next year. That's the only option you got.
Yeah, and we saw what the team did last year in the second half. I know a lot of these guys were here last year, minus Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson, who only played a few games because he came up, debuted, hurt his hamstring. Great news, though, he's available off the bench tonight, so it's good to see that Jacob Wilson could potentially be back in the starting lineup this weekend heading into the All-Star game. But yeah, 39-37 the last, 76 games last year. If you can do something like that or even better, that's more momentum carrying into 2026 when there will be more expectations on this team, more than we saw this year with the team, and we know how that's lived up to them so far this year, but hopefully that they rebound in the second half and you see a lot of performances like Severino get better, and that'll be a catalyst for the team. I'm
willing to admit we got out over our skis at spring training. We bought it. There was a great vibe. It's what spring training is all about. You go down, it's the off season. You're coming out of Christmas. You're coming out of the new year. You're in Arizona. It's 75 degrees. It's beautiful. Let's tee it up, play a little golf, get some. We're staying at the Omni Hotel right there next to Arizona State. It's beautiful. We're having dinners at night. I mean, you start to buy everything. Yeah, we bought it. We bought the hype. But then you get pushed back into reality, and Mark Kotsay has kind of done a good job for us with that, is realizing how many of these guys, this is their first full year. Mm-hmm. Their first full year. And for pitching, and I said it last night on A's Talk, and I firmly believe this. I would not mess with the offensive core. And the thing that bothers me is when people go, well, you might have offense, you might want to trade that to get pitching. To get who? Who are you going to go get? Who's going to be healthy? There is nobody in this game anymore. Nobody that you can rely on. Who can you rely on? Garrett Cole was the most reliable thing you could think of out for the year.
Yeah.
You can't rely on pitching nowadays. Front offices, you have to be magicians to be able to figure out going to get pitching. And you got to win these. You got to win these. You got to win these deals like what the A's did with the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's get Ken Korach up here. You got to win these deals. You got to be able to win Jacob Lopez and Jeffrey Springs. And it is so hard. Yeah, and for me, with anything, if I'm going to build a pitching staff going forward, it's got to be on certain deals like what you did with Springs and Lopez, or you got to go out and pay for it. I'm not trading any of this young position player core It's too precious to have kids who play every single day to try and hope for a guy that goes once every 5 days. The voice.
Hi, Towny.
Of your of your Athletics.
Yes.
The great Ken Korach is here.
Hello,
Hi, Ken.
Towny. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I'm enjoying your conversation with the commander. It's good stuff.
Well, I mean, for Luis Severino, this is what it is. He dug himself the hole. He's got to dig himself out.
Nobody but him can do it.
Yeah.
Right? He's been around long enough where, he knows what's going on. And pitching at home, it's been really rough. I think the biggest disappointment of the season has been Severino's performance at home. But the A's have, 65 games left or so?
Yeah.
To turn that around.
Well, and early you could make an issue, but as the season goes on and you start to see other guys have really good performances here, the excuses, you don't want to hear them.
You don't. No. You have to be accountable.
Yeah.
In this game and in life especially too, right, Towny? So, and I thought at least after his last start, he talked about how he has to be better and he has to limit the damage. And the A's feel like he needs a strikeout pitch. 2 strikes, you've got to have a put-away pitch, Towny, and that's been lacking for him. So we did hear a little more accountability from Severino after his last start.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, and I think Logan Webb was the one guy that kind of, when Logan Webb goes, I pitched here, I love pitching here, and he comes in and goes 6 2/3, could have been 7,
right.
Almost was 7, really good, like 7. He only gave up 2 runs. You go, well, that's what guys like that are supposed to look like, right? You're going to be an ace. Zach Wheeler came in here and dealt. Like, if you're going to be the legit guy, wherever you pitch in America or anywhere in the world, we go over to the Tokyo Dome, you better be lights out.
Pitchers have pitched well here.
Yes.
And you were asking, Commander is talking to him about guys you can rely on. Zach Wheeler, to me, is at the top of the list. That doesn't mean he can't get hurt tomorrow. But I'm a huge fan of Zach Wheeler.
Well, and think early on in his career, he wasn't reliable.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And that's
but
why
he sure is now. And
we'll talk about this young core. It's something like you've seen a lot of young cores your time being here with the Athletics. This core seems to be a little different. There's a lot of them. When you're talking about the entire outfield, the entire infield, we're not talking catcher and DH. That's Langoliers and Rooker. They were not drafted by the Athletics. But you look the rest of the infield, third, short, second, first, and the outfield, all drafted. It's like I want to continue to. It's a seed. You plant it. You put fertilizer and water on it and let it grow.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the years before the A's had the 4 straight postseasons, which began in 2000, because they had something kind of similar. They had Giambi at first base. They had Tejada at short. They had Chavez at third. Ben Grieve was a great player when he first got to the A's.
Rookie of the year.
Eventually, Ramon Hernandez behind the plate. Mark Ellis, although he was drafted by Kansas City, was really a homegrown player because he never played in the big leagues for them. And then you had Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. So we don't want to go overboard, but I think there's a real foundation that's being developed here. Now they have to pitch. They've got to pitch. But the other thing is, and I know you and I have talked about this, they have guys you want to see, right? Towny, when Denzel Clark doesn't play, I'm bummed out. I want to see him play every day.
He may do something that is
every day, right?
One of the greatest things you've ever seen.
You want to pay money to see him.
I want to see Nick Kurtz hit every day. I want to see Jacob Wilson hit every day.
Every day, like with Jacob not in there again tonight. You'd want to see him out there. And that's not to disparage anybody else. And I also think with Jacob, the whole lineup fits a whole lot better when he's in there, right, Towny? Everybody kind of slots in where they should slot in. But I'm encouraged. I really am. Now they've got to pitch. They've played better defense. Denzel has helped, but you're not going to win until you get a couple of guys who can dominate. And that's what the A's need to find.
Well, I'll tell you, another guy that really intrigues me in his numbers lately is Max Muncy. The light has gone on.
First-round pick. Since he's been back, it's not real robust, but it's a lot. He was 3 for 29 at one time. So he's hitting about 240 since he's been back, something like that. And he has 7 home runs. So he's stepped it up for sure. And Johnny's talked about this. I know you have too. He's a lot more comfortable now.
No doubt.
And that's not surprising because when you're You're just a kid. And he's just a kid. Soderstrom's only 23. Right? It seems like we've been talking about him for years.
Well, Geloff
He's
and
only
Butler,
23.
they're old at 25 around here.
And Butler just turned 25 yesterday.
He's old.
Kurtz was in college a year ago, right? So, yeah.
He's 22.
Yeah, I know. And he hits a high fastball off a lefty over the fence in left field to tie the game in the 8th inning last night.
It's something special. You know, watching him, we had him here after the game, and you realize how big of a man he is. So the offensive stuff, you get it. You also have to realize how good he is defensively for his size.
Right. He really is. There was a tough hop. Was it last night or the night before? He had to go back, and then a little backhand and had to cradle it, and then 3-1 play at first base. So, no, he's really good over there. So, Kotsay was telling a story to the media before the game today that the great Billy Owens, and we're all huge fans of
assistant general manager.
Yeah. He told Kotsay before the season that Nick Kurtz would be the best player on the ball club when August rolls around. Now, that's being pretty prescient right there because
Brent Rooker,
he never played a game in the big leagues.
Yeah, Brent Rooker, Jacob Wilson now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
the emergence of Lawrence Butler.
Billy.
And Billy O said by August.
By August, Nick Kurtz would be the best player on the team.
So you're saying
that's according to the skipper.
Sign him to an extension right now.
Well, it's not my checkbook, but I wouldn't be opposed to the idea.
Well, yeah, I think about, and that's why I've asked Jacob Wilson about it off the air, and he'd be interested in signing a deal, and he inked these guys up, and you can tell how much they like each other, how much they're growing together. Ray Fosse always talked to us about, when he came over from Cleveland and, he saw, okay, now I get it, because these guys all grew together. They grew in Kansas City, on to Oakland. They grew as brothers together. They were young. They all came up together. Then they got married, and then they had kids. I mean, it's a brotherhood that they have. And Ray and Raleigh Fingers, we've talked to multiple times about it with him recently. Just, he talked about how special it was, their time, and that it led to them being great.
The next step for this group is learning how to win. They haven't gotten to that point yet where you really learn how to win. And when they started developing those clubs, and we referenced the 4 straight postseasons beginning in 2000, there was a culture that existed. Like if you joined the team from another ball club, these were the expectations. I mean, we're here to win. And that's what happened with those A's teams in the 70s. Now, this group hasn't gotten quite to that level yet where you really feel like you can learn how to win. Coaches have talked about that, Towny, and that's another step. And I think they're going to take that step. And you can't erase the fact they were 1-20. It's part of the record. It'll be in the record forever. But they were 22-20 before that, and they're 16-16 after that. So they've kind of survived the 1-20. It's maybe not reflective of the record right now, but the season hasn't gone south. They've played pretty well since then, and I think that also is pretty important.
All right, when you're up in the booth calling the game and Mason Miller comes in and throws 104.1, can you see it?
No, I can't.
Sean Murphy couldn't see it. Could you see it?
I asked Kotsay if you could hear it, because it's like they talk about this kind of sizzles when it comes in, right? I turned to Johnny and I said, I don't think we've seen 104. And it was the fastest pitch he's thrown this year.
104.1
is ridiculous.
Like, how does a human being?
Can you even imagine throwing?
I can't even imagine wanting to stand in the box against someone throwing that hard in case something happened and he didn't have control that night. I mean, how does the eyes, the brain have enough time to tell the body, hey, dummy, swing? Yeah, it's 104.1. And remember, Mason's 6'5".
Yeah.
So by the time he comes down the mound and he releases it, he's not 60 feet 6 inches anymore. He's 50-something feet away.
The only thing that might be analogous, because the other day, and I should have known the answer, when I asked our guy Steve Sachs, who was the hardest thrower he ever faced, he did not hesitate. It took a split second. He said Nolan Ryan. And when Ryan first got to the big leagues, he was a little bit wild. Randy Johnson, when he first got up,
my God,
that was a scary at bat because it took him a while to find the plate. Same with Koufax back in the 50s. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to go in there. Don't ask me to go in there against Mason.
So back when I used to do the Jack Del Rio show, the Raiders head coaches show in Oakland, Jack Del Rio was Randy Johnson's catcher at USC.
Wow.
And in the old Pac-10 days, he said everybody was on high alert because every pitch Randy threw, no one knew where it was going. The umpire, him, the hitter, nobody knew.
That's scary because he was about 6'10", too.
Throwing almost
Livermore,
97 to 100
Oh,
miles an
my
hour,
God,
and he's
yeah.
got no idea where it's going.
You know, McGuire used to pitch at SC, too.
Yeah?
Yeah,
The great Mark McGuire.
yeah.
What are the plans for the for the All-Star break?
Going to go back to Vegas
All right.
and spend about a week there, pick up the wife, and we're going to come back here for a week. They get ready for the A's to come back, and I'm off on the next trip. And then when the A's play the Mariners here, the last series of July, can you believe that? After this series is over, the A's next series will be the last July series here
August
at
3rd
home.
or something like that?
No, it's in July. It's later.
Is
I
it
think-
July?
Yeah, it's the last 3 games in July are with the Mariners when the A's get back home.
That is crazy.
It's this All-Star break, 98 games at the break is a lot of games.
That's right, 28, 29, and 30th.
Seattle. Cal
Seattle.
Raleigh.
All right, I was asked, who you going MVP? And I was asked about MVP, Judge or Raleigh, and I said, it doesn't matter, it's July. But if we're going to play that, it's basically a talk show type thing. Who's your MVP right now? Where
I'm
would you
going
go?
Raleigh right now.
You're going Raleigh over Judge?
Yeah, even though the Mariners just got swept, but I'm going Raleigh because Seattle is still in the playoff mix.
Yeah.
He's a catcher doing what he's doing. So, yeah, I got to put him up here.
It's one of the greatest offensive years we've ever seen. I mean, it's just hope he doesn't get tired. And that's the one thing we've always seen with catchers. Ray Fosse's hands would always tell us, they get beat up so much that they start to lose steam. Like Buster Posey always struggled in the postseason. Why? Because he's beat up by that time of the year.
Seattle will help because it's cool up there. So maybe he won't wear out as much playing up there. They have Mitch Garver to catch a little bit, and he can DH.
Yeah.
But they like him behind the plate. So, I mean, if he hits something in the 50s even in home runs, it would be incredible. And he's on a pace for 60, right?
Are you going to get any early morning rounds at our club? Back in
our
Vegas?
club, yeah.
Yes.
The club
Our club.
that you'll be joining.
I'm very excited to be a member at Las Vegas Country Club.
Well, look forward to it, Towny. Yeah, it kind of depends on the weather. When the low temperature is 90, I'm not sure, but it's actually supposed to cool down a little bit while I'm there.
Well,
and golf will be definitely a part of the All-Star break.
Well,
sure.
You have a great call the next 3 days. I'm out of here after today. So
you go to Hawaii.
See you when Aloha. I'll see you when I get back from Hawaii.
Which island are you going to?
Going to the Big Island.
Okay, good.
Going to be Hapuna Beach. Got a couple rounds myself going to plan. It's going to be nice. But enjoy the weekend. Have a good call, and we'll see you after the All-Star break.
Thanks, buddy.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live. Michael Kelly and the Mark Kotsay Show.
A's All-Star Jacob Wilson joined Towny on A's Cast Live to talk about being named the starting shortstop for the American League in this year's All-Star game in Atlanta.
Can't even describe it. They're just, it's everything you've ever wanted as a baseball player, to be able to hear those words. And, a countless amount of thank yous that, go out to the teammates, coaches, the people that you have in your corner on a daily basis. And it was a crazy day for me. And, super grateful, super thankful for this year so far. And, just being able to, really excited to take it in the second half.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
When it comes to knocking it out of the park, nobody beats Folsom Lake Ford. Folsom Lake Ford is a 7-time Triple Crown Award winner, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, for being the best in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Step up to the plate for our biggest selection of new Ford models, including the legendary F-150, on sale now. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters in the Folsom Auto Mall. FolsomLakeFord.com.
That ball is out of here.
For just $25, fans can sit in the general admission outfield grass for all regular season home games. Tickets for that day's game will open up daily at 9 a.m. for purchase at athletics.com/lawn. Sign up to receive A's alerts to receive a text the first morning of each home series as a reminder. For more information, visit athletics.com/lawn. Athletics manager Mark Kotsay joined Towny for his weekly segment to share his reaction to Jacob Wilson being named the American League's starting shortstop for the All-Star game.
This is a high point, obviously. You know, I think for Jacob, the accomplishment speaks for itself. To be the first, rookie shortstop by the fans voted in, that's pretty impressive. And, I think he's earned it. Obviously, the first half that he's had has been amazing. We continued to talk about, is he going to continue to be able to do this? Is he going to continue to be able to get this amount of hits? And he has. He's barreled it, and he's shown a little power, which we were surprised about. I think he's got 9 home runs on the season so far. So, this accomplishment by Jacob, and I think it's a reflection of the group in itself, with the baseball ops group, with the all the scouts and our scouting department, and the job they did in identifying a player that they felt could, it could translate at the big league level.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/AceCast.
Streaming from West Sacramento, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Welcome back to A's Cast Live. Do we really need to have a debate about American League MVP? I don't even know what the date is. It's July what?
11th.
It's July 11th. Does that really matter?
Most likely not. No,
is that just lame talk show fodder right there?
100%.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true. It's lame. Does it really matter? Do we know who the Rookie of the Year is in the American League yet? I don't think you can nail down Jacob Wilson right now, because right on his heels is Nick Kurtz.
Yeah, I know. You're not wrong. And don't discount what Cam Smith's doing.
Oh, not even close. Cam Smith?
He's having a good
Last
year.
time we saw him, he had 5 home runs. How many home runs does Cam Smith have?
7.
Compared to a guy that's got 15? Are you serious?
He's hitting 286. This is a guy
compared to Nick Kurtz? You're really going to be on the air?
I'm just saying he's a guy they're going to put in
is
there.
it time to mute his microphone? You're going to say Cam Smith? You're going to say Cam Smith even compares to what Jacob Wilson and Nick Kurtz?
No, I'm just saying he's going to be in the voting for Rookie of the Year. I didn't say he's
there's going to be 10 guys in the voting.
Those are the 3 guys everyone's going to look at.
Ball explodes off his bat.
See?
Oh, my God. Cam Smith. What is it? Give me his numbers.
286 average, 7 homers, 39 RBIs, and a 779 OPS.
Nick Kurtz has 15 home runs.
And yeah, correct.
Nick Kurtz has many home runs as Cal Raleigh, who everybody's saying is the MVP since June 15th.
I was looking at I was going to see
By the end of the year, Nick Kurtz could have 30 bombs. You realize that?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
30 home runs. Jacob Wilson could maybe win the batting title, if not be second.
To Judge, yeah. It's going to be hard to catch him now. Well, that's not hard.
No, there's a lot of games left. How many games are left?
What's today? I guess probably over 60.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's still some guys still have time to get super, super hot, and then there's time for guys to take nosedives.
So before we get to Michael Kelly, I pulled up the old verses on StatHead, and The only thing Cal Raleigh has better than Aaron Judge is he has more home runs and more steals.
Cal Raleigh has more steals?
Yeah, he has 9. Judge has 6.
Oh, wow.
Judge's not a great athlete, apparently.
And one guy's catching.
Yeah.
Which is a far more important defensive position than right field.
Yeah, right field. He's no longer a center fielder.
Not a center fielder anymore.
He couldn't hack it anymore.
So Matt Olson's going to be in the home run derby?
Matt Olson's in the home run derby replacing Ronald Acuna Jr., who apparently has back tightness. Must be from that flight from here to St. Louis.
It might be the one time this year, or it might be the one time this weekend that he gets the big ovation, because the rest of the time is going to be for the Dodgers first baseman.
That is 100% a fact.
That is going to be – have I mentioned that yet?
I think you did yesterday.
It is going to be awkward. In Atlanta, Freddie Freeman is everybody's guy. Matt Olson isn't their guy, even though he technically is their guy as he is a member of the Atlanta Braves. People love Freddie Freeman there. They still do. They're still angry he's gone. You see it every single time the Dodgers go there, the standing ovations. When he gets announced and the love he's going to get the All-Star game, no chance Matt Olson gets that.
Not at all. I think because everyone's so low. Like
that's going to be awkward, isn't it? That the hometown first baseman who makes the All-Star game gets far less of an ovation than the guy he replaced. And the guy he replaced is going to be there for his 9th All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm actually that actually makes for compelling television now, because a lot of people are. I kind of want to see this now. That's a little side note to check in and see what the ovation is like for each guy.
The game inside the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, I can't wait to watch Jacob Wilson run out. This is our last show, by the way, before the All-Star break. Seriously, I can't wait to watch Jacob Wilson run out as a starter. It's one thing. It's awesome to be introduced and you tip your cap there on the line. That's amazing. But to watch Jacob Wilson, because the starters, you come out of the dugout, you run, high five everybody. To watch Jacob Wilson do that, and the announcers are going to sit there and go, no one's ever done this before, been voted in as the starting shortstop. As a rookie.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And hopefully I'll be available off the bench tonight. Hopefully he plays in a game, starts in a game this weekend.
If he wasn't able to play, that would have been so disappointing.
I know. It was such a, I hate to use the word bummer, but it would be a bummer.
Because this is the start of hopefully 10-plus All-Star games for Jacob Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, I could
maybe
see him
dominating. I mean, it's going to be tough with Bobby Witt Jr., but he and Bobby Witt Jr. battling it out every single year. And I know Pena's really good in Houston, but, Jacob Wilson could be a guy that's in the All-Star game basically every single year.
Yeah, no, I think that those are the 3 guys to look at right now if we're speaking, because we don't know what's going to happen with Gunnar Henderson or Jackson Holiday. And I was looking at the younger shortstops in the league. Those are the 3 guys.
Jacob does something that a lot of people aren't doing, right? When you hit a lot of home runs and no one's hitting home runs, huge deal. When you're hitting for high average and most of the league's not, it makes it that much bigger of a deal.
Yeah.
So it's how do you win on the margins? Well, you got to do stuff other people aren't. We're now have people talking more about contact, right? We love the barrel rates, but we like guys and the contact percentage who barrel it up. Jacob Wilson does what? Barrels it up. High contact percentage, but he also barrels it up. Like, that's something people are realizing, like, the elevate and celebrate. That's, they love home runs, but some way. I mean, like right now, the A's, we're scoring. Do you have it, or is it in the notes?
It's in the notes.
47.9% of our runs are from home runs. That's got to get better. You got to be better at finding ways to score runs. You have to be better. Everything just can't be off home runs. People are figuring that, and that's why a guy like Jacob Wilson hitting for a high average when the rest of the league isn't, and it just keeps going down, is going to make him like a guy like, hey, going to be in the All-Star game every year. Why? Because he's hitting for a high average, and people are like, you know what? I like seeing a guy hit 340.
Yeah. Well, there's not very many guys that do it. That's why it's impressive, especially a rookie.
You want to get to Michael Kelly?
We have to go to both of them because, well, we're going to be bleeding into over 6 o'clock.
All right. A's reliever Michael Kelly joined us earlier today right here at the desk at the ballpark in West Sacramento. Now joining us here on A's Cast Live, reliever Michael Kelly is with us once again. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, I'm doing well, and we're almost at the All-Star break. We're just talking about All-Star break plans. Good that you and the family going to be heading up to Tahoe. You've never been to Lake Tahoe.
Never been to Lake Tahoe, but I'm excited.
obviously you're a Florida guy, so I'm telling you, for you, the wife, I know your kids are young, but for you and your wife, it's going to be one of the most spectacular places you've ever been in your life.
Looking forward to it.
You know,
it's the mountains.
It's one of the things that we don't take advantage enough living here, and we just know it's always there. But I can't wait for you to report back.
I will let you know for sure.
And how, and for you, I got to think, a guy, the way you're going right now that you're back, you kind of don't want the All-Star break to happen.
I think it's going to be nice to have a little family time and get away a little bit. But no, you're kind of right. I kind of want to keep going and keep rolling.
You know, your journey, the last time you were on this show, you were red hot. And then, of course, the suspension came, and I know how tough that was for you and your career. You know, sometimes in life you lose something, then you realize how much you love it. What has that love for baseball been like for you getting back here?
You know, I don't think the love ever really left. The suspension was unfortunate, but went right into coaching, and I started a facility in Tyler, Texas with 2 former big leaguers, Josh Tomlin, Stephen Hill, and giving lessons and just kind of staying involved in the game. And then, you know, you definitely start to miss the competitive side and playing and competing. And so being back and being able to compete and help the team has been really nice.
So when you start to coach, you learn as you coach, right? You learn. Right. You're trying to help, but you also learn because there's that time where you got to stay sharp because the minute you're reinstated, hey, it's back in the big leagues.
Right. Yeah, and there's definitely some times where I'd be coaching some older kids, high school kids, college kids, and I'd be telling them something like, I should probably start doing that a little bit more.
It is amazing how that works.
Yep.
How did you stay physically ready to go? What was the process?
Being around those 2 guys, Josh and Steven, who had been in the big leagues, had success in the big leagues, just kind of working with them every day. They would work out with me. They would throw with me. They'd watch my bullpens, stand in on bullpens if I wanted them to. So having those 2 kind of really helped me stay in the routine of things. Never really got away from it, stayed working out and staying the throwing program, being consistent with that. So it was honestly pretty good to have those guys in my corner for that time.
I've always wondered, you know, when pitchers get a time off, because your whole life you've been throwing, right? Mm-hmm. You were a first-round pick. You've been going after it for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. So there's always that wear and tear. When you do have that time off, did you feel like, you know, if there ever was anything going on, you feel strong again? You had that time to really heal.
Yeah, I took probably the first month to really recover, focus on recovery. And then once that month was done, I knew that I wanted to get after it to make sure that I was as sharp as possible once the opportunity came and I can be reinstated.
Yeah, when you were being reinstated, it was like all of a sudden it was like, where's he been pitching? He's ready to go. So you were down in Arizona at our complex throwing to hitters. Were you participating in any games?
I couldn't play in any games, but we would do live ABs, simulate games as best we could. So I was there for 30 days, and I threw probably 8 to 10 innings, simulated kind of what a spring training would be like, the buildup of spring training. And then time came, and I was ready to go.
What was the emotions like when your name was announced? Because I remember we saw you, we said hello and everything, but what was it like when you stepped on that mound, the fans, being back in, the game that you love, that this is what you're all about? What was that moment like?
It was just everything I was preparing myself for. You know, it was the visualization and feeling that even when I was away from the game, putting myself in that moment. So when that moment came, it was okay, I've been here, I've done this, now let's get to work.
Well, I can tell you were exactly what the doctor ordered, because this bullpen was really hurting at that time. And to bring a veteran presence like yourself in, did you sense that, like how much you could really come in and help this team right now?
I think a little bit. I think it was more so me just wanting to help the team, and the time away, I would watch all the games, and, you know, there'd be games where something would happen and it would be like, man, I really wish I was there for that, to be in that opportunity to help the team get out of it. So I think when I got here, it was more so what can I do to kind of help the team, help the guys in the bullpen? How can I be a resource for them to get everyone on track and keep them going and getting the most out of their abilities, and just trying to be a helping hand as much as I can.
You know, the bullpen is really interesting right now. We have pitching coach Scott Emerson, who we call the pitching doctor, Dr. Emo. The bullpen's interesting because you have a lot of guys who were starters. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of guys there that can go more than one inning. So this is just not a bunch of guys, it's one inning, get them out. All of you guys pretty much can go more than one inning. And the philosophy now of, hey, let's try and use 2 to 3 guys a night versus 5 guys a night. Right. It's just talk about that strategy. And you're also one of those guys that can go more than one.
Yeah, I think it really helps kind of keep guys fresh down there. You got guys like Perkins and JT Ginn who've been doing a phenomenal job at eating innings, going 2-3 innings at a time, and it kind of resets the bullpen, keeps everyone fresh. Newcomb's another guy that he's either going multiple innings or he's coming in leverage spots. So it's a very dynamic bullpen, but it helps kind of keep everyone ready to go. Everyone's fresh. No one's really getting overtaxed too much.
Yeah.
So we're making it work the best we can.
Has it been fascinating just in your career to watch the velocity grow, even from when you started? Like if I go back when I first started covering baseball, just in your career, what are you about 32 now?
Yep. 32.
So, and you were drafted your first round pick out of high school, right?
In 2011.
So you think just what velocity has been, is it crazy for you to see?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time Mason steps on the mound, my mind's blown. I mean, watching him last night throw 104 miles an hour is just incredible. And I feel like every guy that we roll out or another team is rolling out is upper 90s. And when I first got drafted, you know, you threw 95 plus, you threw really hard.
Yeah.
Now you throw 95, you're just another guy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't get over it.
Me either. It's wild.
I asked Mark Kotsay today on the Mark Kotsay show what we talked about, because it was 104.1. How much time? I mean, how does the hitter have time for the human brain to see it and tell the body swing now?
I don't think they do. And I think watching Mason pitch, you kind of realize that they don't have enough time.
So that even amazes you guys down in the bullpen when he warms up, just how hard it is.
Oh yeah. Every time he warms up, we're just kind of in awe watching him, and then every time he steps on the mound, he throws a pitch, and we're constantly just checking the radar gun right after.
Yeah, it is something special. When you think about the second half, what are the goals for the second half for you?
Stay being aggressive, competing, just getting after it every day, doing the most that I can to help the team, help the guys in the bullpen, and coming out every time I get on the mound, have a little chip on my shoulder and attack the hitters.
And I got a feeling you're looking at Mark Kotsay going, I can go every day.
Oh, yeah, every day. I let him know every single day.
Do you really?
Yep.
I love that. What does he say?
He usually just tells me he'll let me know.
Well, hey, thank you so much for the time. We truly appreciate it. It's great to have you back.
Appreciate it.
And enjoy Tahoe with the family. It's going to be a great trip, and we'll see you in the second half.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford. Skip, you're coming off a really good series against the Atlanta Braves, 2 out of 3, and a lot of excitement, and the young players continue to grow right in front of our eyes.
Let's talk about Folsom Ford.
How is your
quick info? The Bronco's been amazing. It's got this rag top. I have no idea how to work it, so it's not. I haven't taken it down.
Do you want me to get people out there to explain it to you?
We might have to go to Folsom Ford.
Yeah,
probably going to need an oil change pretty quick. Done a little driving. Family's been here, so we've kind of seen some of the greater Sacramento area, which it's been really cool. I went out to Hagen Oaks today.
Yeah, great for golf.
Driving range is amazing, first class facility, and the pro shop, the golf shop there. I mean, Trey and I spent over an hour there today.
How'd you hit it?
My ball speed wasn't as high as Trey's.
And that's a cool thing about Hagen Oaks. They have
the trackers on everything, and so my ball speed was averaging 158 to 162. Trey's 172 to 180.
Your son has better club head speed than you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
2 back surgeries, bud.
How do you feel about that?
I'm more and more each day.
I mean, you got a lot of pride. That's gotta hurt a little bit.
Yeah. The other day he put his hand on my shoulder, because he was walking behind me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not doing that. So then we were taking BP on the field 2 days ago. He hit a homer, right? So he's pumped. He finally got a ball out of the yard. I said, give me the bat. I said, I'll hit one in 5 pitches. 5th pitch, right into our bullpen. 49 years old, bud.
So you still got it?
I got it. My goal is to hit a homer at 50 next year.
Well, I remember when you were taking BP off Mason Miller, I was like, go get him, big dog.
Yeah, I didn't see 104, though. Did you see that 104 last night?
How do you hit 104? How does your brain, forget analytics. Tell me how the brain has enough time to tell the body and the hands to swing when it's 104.1.
Well, Murph's brain and body didn't have enough time because it went right by him.
I can't even imagine it, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive last night. The the velo that Mason displayed, couple days off. I think he had 3 days off. The the thing with Mace, he has had 4, 5, 6 days off, and we've come to realize kind of like that sweet spot for him is like, let's pitch on the 3rd or the 4th day, which is tough though, because you pitch him and then you don't have him available, right? If he runs a pitch count up to 20, 25 by getting some work, and then you run into the situation where, the next day's a save situation and you don't have him. So
that's always tough, but when he's out there, he's absolutely electric. And Nick Kurtz, I mean, what can you say? I mean, everything you look at everything about his game, and especially what he's been doing this month, July and the past month, this kid has something really, really special. Doesn't look like a rookie at all. He's got an approach. He's got power to all fields. He can flat out hit, and very underrated for a big man, how good he is defensively.
Yeah, he's been moving over there pretty well. He's made some plays last series that I really enjoyed watching, ranging to his right. So, that's encouraging. The at-bats continue to get better. This 7th inning or later, the stat they threw out last night, I think he's got, I don't know, is it 8 homers after the 7th inning? That's really impressive. So, like you said, he doesn't display the normal characteristics of a rookie. He really feels like he's been around for a few years already.
It's been a lot of fun. And also Tyler Soderstrom, he got out to such the hot start. I don't know if there's any correlation to maybe a little bit of struggles moving him from first base to left field, but I thought that was big on him. Tells you what kind of team player he is, because he knew Nick Kurtz was coming. I'll go out and play left field. He's done a pretty good job out there in left field. Now the offense is starting to heat up. Like, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the season totals at the end of the year, Tyler's going to put up, health, barring health, knock on wood, everything stays good. It's going to be a good year for him, but how nice is it to see him getting hot again?
No, it's great, and you can't sustain the type of months that he had in April and the start of May. I think he had 9 or 10 home runs. That's hard to sustain, especially as a young player. You can see Aaron Judge do it. Cal Raleigh's now done it for a couple of years.
Barry Bonds.
But if you look up and to see where, Tyler is, I think Tyler's got 16 homers. Rook's got 19. Rooks has been steady, 7, 6, 6. Whereas Tyler's was out to a hot start and then plateaued a little bit and then didn't have any extra base hits or a ton of extra base hits in June. That's going to happen. So, again, like you said, you're going to look up at the end of the year, and I think you're going to be really impressed with the numbers that he's putting up. Not just him, but Butler as well. Like, these two young players, right, first full seasons, okay, that you're going to expect those ups and downs, those peaks and valleys. But they're having, I think, I might be wrong, but I'm going to lay it out there. In terms of, since they signed as high school players, this season right now, as of their stat line, it's the best that it's been throughout their professional career, even in the minor leagues. Like, this is the best years that they've had to this point in the season professionally.
We'll catch it on camera where you'll go put your arm around a guy. You'll talk to him. I know you did it recently. It was the final out of the game. After the game, you put your arm around Lawrence Butler. Has there been a time when you've done that for either Butler or for Tyler Soderstrom when you're like, listen, you're going to be all right. You're going to be okay? Because obviously these young players, if you get out to a hot start, you expect just to keep this thing going. Sometimes you need to give a guy a little love, a little pat on the back. How much have you done that with a guy like Tyler?
There's a lot of that gone on in that clubhouse. Like you said, they're young. Most of these guys in that locker room have never experienced failure, especially at the consistency, day in, day out when it starts to stack up. In the minor leagues, you get that Monday off. There's a blow mentally. In the minor leagues, if you play 3 or 4 in a row, they most likely, if you don't perform, they're going to get another guy an opportunity or a day. You get a day off. So here it's when you're one of those guys that's in the lineup that I want to write your name in the lineup every day. It's hard when you go through those times. So they definitely need that, the perspective that we can give, that we can share. Myself, Ramon Hernandez, who's a 15-year big leaguer who's played the game every day. Bobby Crosby, 7-8 years. Mike Aldretti, 10 years. Chris Crone had some time. there's some guys in there that can share their experiences and I think help them go through these times. But yeah, for me, 13 major league debuts this year. There's been a lot of conversation as to how difficult the game is, but yet how consistent you need to be in your approach and your process. That's what you really have to rely on and fall back on and continue to believe in.
Yeah, we talked a lot about how the entire outfield and the infield, other than Shea Langoliers behind the dish and Brent Rooker at DH, it's all guys that are drafted. They are young, but they're also the reason why you win, right? They're really good, and this core is growing up, and they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, no, they're really talented, and it's my job to make them become a team and understand, that there's some sacrifice personally that you have to give in order for us to be the team that we need to be to win this division and to win going forward.
Luis Severino going tonight against Max Scherzer. It's going to be a great weekend. The Toronto Blue Jays, they come in hot. They just won 10 in a row before losing on Thursday. They're in first place in the American League East, and you got Max Scherzer. We all know he's going to have a plaque in Cooperstown someday. One of the great careers going up against Luis Severino, who needs to figure it out here at this ballpark. This is a big start for him.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a big start for him. Sevy's a guy that we've talked to and continue to talk to, and he wants to go out and have a great start. I know that, and we're hopeful that that'll happen tonight.
All right, the draft's coming up on Sunday. A little different from back in your day, but what do you remember about being drafted in the first round years ago by the then Florida Marlins?
Yeah, great day. I mean, an exciting day for a lot of young men that are going to go through this process and get that phone call. I think now they do it on stage. It's a big production. So in 1996, it was a phone call at the Millington, Tennessee, military barracks that we were all at. Skip Bertman,
Team USA, right?
Yeah. Skip Bertman. Hey, Kotsay, come down here. There's somebody on the phone that wants to talk to you.
There wasn't television cameras there?
No, it was Dave Dombrowski on the phone, welcoming me to the Florida Marlins as the 9th pick, and it was great. It was quite an honor. It's a day that obviously all these young men will cherish and remember for the rest of their life.
And you talk about life changing. I mean, it started your professional career. Well, you were in the big leagues for 17 years, but you just think about your baseball life. That was the start. And here you are now, a manager of a team in Major League Baseball. That draft that day was the start of an unbelievable career.
Well, I appreciate that. It was. And I'm very blessed to be in this game, for now going on 29 years. If you start the clock in 96, if you had asked me in 96, I thought I'd still be around and still be involved in the game, I would have told you there's no chance.
Yeah. If you go back to Cal State Fullerton and said, hey, by the way, you're going to be a manager of a team someday. Yeah, I'd be,
I would have said, yeah, a manager of maybe U.S. Marshals or
law enforcement
department, something like that. Yeah.
All right. You have made it a point to keep track, probably more than a lot of managers, of what's happening in the minor league system. You talk to the players down there because they're going to be, some of them will be a big part of the future up here. How much will you pay attention to the draft? And then will you reach out to maybe the first round pick and talk to them?
Well, what's been fun is the draft room here in SAC now. Normally we've been on the road as a team, so I've never been able to go in and talk to the scouts and sit with Eric Kubota, the director of scouting, and be engaged a little bit, and so last 2 days I've been able to go in the room. Tomorrow I'm going to go in the room, so that's been fun. It's been exciting, but yeah, I definitely will get to know these guys. When they get drafted, we open on the road, which is kind of different, but we're hopeful, we can get the first round or first 2 rounds guys in like we did last year. We brought Jacob, we brought Tommy White, got to get them on the field around our guys. So, but no, you're right. I am engaged. I think there's still a lot of positives happening in this organization. I think this organization, top to bottom, outside of our major league record, the minor league the teams have done a really good job this year.
Well, this isn't the Moneyball days. We had David Forst over here. They're at the Kempton Sawyer. They got like a whole. This isn't like being in some just concrete room at the Coliseum. They got some spread going out over there, right?
It's a nice room. Yeah, it's at the Kings Stadium or arena, I should say. And they've done a nice job providing a good space for the guys to work, for sure.
Any plans for big plans for the family, maybe for the All-Star break?
No, we're gonna hunker down and do some beach time, I think.
Well, you enjoy.
All right, thank you.
You deserve it. All right, we'll talk to you when we get back from the break. That's the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by Folsom Lake Ford.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
This has been a presentation of The Athletics.